Hey, it's Can't Quit Andy, and I'm gonna show you how to meal prep. First thing that's to get done is you want to clean your area. So what I did was I started cutting the fat off my chicken. And first off, you want to wash your hands. I already washed my hands. I already cut the fat off of my chicken. The fat is the little bitty white pieces. So this will be considered fat right here. This right here. And that's what you want to cut off. You want to cut off the fat off the chicken. So you grab the scissors, literally cut off the pieces of white, and that's how you cut your fat off. The reason why I cut them into little bitty pieces is because when I weigh them, it's so much easier to get an accurate weight. Doing it this way is much easier for me. I'm cooking chicken and rice. I make the asparagus raw, wash it, put it into the bowl. When I heat up the meal in the future, that's when asparagus gets cooked. So you definitely want to keep your area clean. So after I'm done with this, I'm just gonna toss it into the trash. I have to eat 4 ounces of chicken, right? So like one meal may consist of 4 ounces of chicken and 3 ounces of rice and 3 ounces of asparagus. So it's gonna be 3 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbohydrates, and 28 grams of protein in that one meal. So that's my rice, my carbohydrate, my asparagus as my vegetable, and my chicken as my protein. So all this together is gonna bring me those macronutrients. So now that's my rice that I'm gonna have to cook. This is my chicken. This is, you got a big pan and you have a really tiny pan. This pan is about the size of my hand. This pan is more than the size of my hand. But I have all this chicken. This is why I'm gonna have 2 different sizes. So I take my scale here, my digital scale, turn it on. The best way to do it is to put like a plate on it and then zero it out. I'm gonna change the unit to ounces. Unit, that's ounces. So now it's 14 ounces. This bowl weighs 14 ounces. If I take the bowl off, it should go down to 0. Put the bowl on, it weighs 14.3 ounces. Now I'm gonna zero it out. Boom, it zeroes out. Now I'm gonna put my 4 ounces of chicken on there. So keep taking chicken. 4 ounces, awesome. This 4 ounces of chicken right here is gonna go into this pan. The rest of this chicken right here is gonna go into this pan. Now the reason we put the 4 ounces of chicken into this pot and the rest of the chicken into this big pot, we want to make sure that each meal has 4 ounces of chicken. Our macronutrients in meal prepping, it's so defined that we got to make sure that we have the right quantity in each meal to make sure that our calorie intake, our protein intake, carbohydrate intake is precise. This is why we weigh all of our food. In this bowl, we have 4 ounces of chicken. I put it into the small pan and I'll cook it up. Now what happens when I cook it up is the size of it decreases. It shrinks, literally gets smaller. And when I lived on the East Coast in Rhode Island, it could have been one certain weight compared to where I live now. So it'll change the consistency, the size of it, and the weight depending on how you cook it. I cook it on the stove top. While it's getting warm, I'm gonna put the 4 ounces into the small pan. So now that I have my chicken cooked, I'm going to get my bowls ready. I lay them out flat. This way I can put my food in them. Now let me bring you over to the chicken. Here I have the big pot of chicken cooking, and then I have the small pot. Now the small pot had 4 ounces of chicken. This one has the rest of the chicken in there. It's gonna be important later why I had 4 ounces of chicken in this one and the rest in here. It's gonna be very important later. I'm gonna start making the rice. How I make the rice, pretty simple. First, I put the amount of rice that I want in the bowl. So I put inside the bowl while it's dry. Then I put enough water just to cover the rice up. So in my rice, it's just enough water that it covers the rice. Then I bring it to the stove. I put it on high and then it's gonna start boiling. I have my rice cooking, my chicken cooking, and I have the asparagus that's already been ready. Now the thing about this chicken is that because there's a lot more of it, there's a lot of water. So I'm gonna drain the water. So now that the water is drained, awesome. I'm gonna start doing my asparagus. It's very easy for me to do the asparagus. I just have to prep it, which is cutting off the end because I don't like the end tends to get really soggy. So I'm gonna do that now. First thing I do, cut them. Then I bring it to the sink and I wash them. I just put a little bit of water on them. And then I put that right here. Now you want to clean this because it's cooked with raw chicken. Cut into the chicken just to make sure there's no pink. Now, let's see, do you see it right there? Now I'm going to take the asparagus and I'm going to cut it. I put it all into one bowl just to hold it. So now I got these asparagus pieces cut. I need 3 ounces in each bowl, that's what I'm gonna do. So in each bowl I wanna put 3 ounces of asparagus. I still have the food cooking. I just gotta stir the rice up a little bit. So now I bring the scale over, turn the scale on. At 0 ounces I need to put 3 ounces. Grab the asparagus, dump it in there. 3 ounces of asparagus. Boom. So I move this over, slide this one here, put this one there. Should be at 0 ounces. They all weigh the same. Dump 3 ounces of asparagus. Boom. So now I'm all done with this. Now the reason why we cook that chicken in the small pan over here is because we want to know what it shrank down to. So grab that, put it right here. It shrank down to 2.2 ounces. So 4 ounces of chicken uncooked became 2.2 ounces of, this is my fridge. So now what I do is I come here and I put chicken 2.20 ounces. That's for today. All my meals are going to consist of 2.2 ounces of chicken. That's what that is. Right here, it's all about the numbers. It comes down to losing your fat and gaining muscle. It's all about numbers. So in this meal, I have 3 ounces cooked rice. That's where my 20 grams of carbs come from. Here I put a plate on it, then I zero it out. Then I take a scoop of rice and I put it inside the bowl. And then now the scoop is gonna be 3 ounces of rice. Now this is why I had to write down the chicken ounce. So 2.2 ounces. So now I gotta put 2.2 ounces in each plate. So now I go on to the next meal. And the next meal is ground turkey. I have the ground turkey right here. I'm gonna put the pan on the scale, zero it out, and I'm just gonna put 4 ounces of ground turkey onto the pan. Then I take the pan and then I put it on the stove. Now I turn the stove on and I just have it start cooked. And then I'll take the rest of the ground turkey and I'll dump it into the bigger pan. Now the ground turkey is all set. Now this is what I do. Same idea with the chicken. Bring it back to the scale. Put the ground turkey on top and it comes out to 3.05 ounces. Go to my fridge. This is where I just write it down. You can write it down anywhere else. I put 3.05 and that is ground turkey. 3.5 ounces of ground turkey is gonna go into one of these plastic bags and end up looking like just like this. And then I'll eat this as one meal. So this is considered one meal right here. So now as I'm finishing up, all I gotta do is put a cover on them. Now then I stack these up. Stack these up like so. I'm gonna eat 2 of these a day. And then for the rest of the meal, I'm gonna have a shake, a protein shake, and ground turkey. Protein powder. These are all the ingredients that you're gonna need. Protein powder, water. Protein powder and water. Oh, well, you need a shake cup in order to host it. I really don't suggest trying to